The world does not end in water, but in a field of green, for this clan of Homo habilis. The concept of a vast, open ocean is a lost memory, a story told by the shape of ancient shells found far inland. Here, on the coast of a warm Eocene Arctic, the sea is a meadow. A thick, suffocating blanket of freshwater fern stretches to the horizon. A surreal landscape that hums with the drone of insects and the sweet, cloying scent of decay. This chapter of hominid history unfolds on the edge of an alien world, the result of a planet-altering boom, a climatic tipping point now known as the Azolla event. The clan moves with a tense caution. Every survival instinct these early humans possessed was forged in a world of solid ground and predictable threats. Here, the ground itself is a lie. They live in the narrow band between the humid, dense forests and this unnerving green expanse. A young male, barely more than a juvenile, spots a large, slow-moving amphibian sunning itself on a patch of fern just a few feet from the solid shore. His stomach rumbles, meat is scarce, and the creature looks lethargic. An easy meal, ignoring the grunts of warning from an elder. He steps off the muddy bank. The green mat hold. It feels spongy, alive, like the back of some immense, breathing animal. He takes another step, then another. His focus locked on his prize. The clan watches. A silent chorus of held breaths. This is a gamble they have all considered. The meadow teems with life. Fat, sluggish fish trapped in pockets of water, birds nesting on the thicker sections. But its rules are unknown. Its dangers felt but not understood. He lunges, his crude stone chopper raised. His foot comes down hard. The green surface gives a soft, sighing hiss. He does not fall through so much as he is drawn down. There is a moment of wide-eyed surprise. A single, choked gasp. His arms flail, grabbing handfuls of the slimy fern, which pulls apart like wet moss. The green blanket closes over his head without a ripple, as if he were never there. Silent. The amphibian slips away. The air is still, heavy. The buzzing of the insect suddenly deafening. A keening cry rips from his mother's throat, but the others are silent. Paralyzed by a horror that has no name. Their world has rules. Water is wet. Stone is hard. Predators have teeth. This is a violation. The meadow has eaten one of their own. It has committed an act of passive, indifferent violence that is more terrifying than any charging beast. Far out, where the grain meets the sky, a pressure wave travels beneath the mat. It is impossibly long. Serpentine, the shadow of a creature far larger than any they have seen on land. It is the ghost of a true predator, a nascent whale known as Basilosaurus, drawn to the faintest tremor in its strange, suffocating kingdom. The clan sees nothing but the unbroken green. They only know that the meadow has a hunger, and they are living on its shore. Grief gives way to annoying, practical fear. The green meadow, once a curiosity, is now a confirmed predator. An existential threat whose boundaries are the very edge of their world. Hunger, however, is a more immediate tyrant. The forest, stripped of its easiest fruits and roots, offers less each day. The clan gathers at the shore, their knuckles white as they grip their simple old iron choppers. They are trapped, and their collective gaze keeps returning to the malevolent green. This is a moment of pure evolutionary pressure. A problem that cannot be solved with brute force. It requires a different kind of tool, a different kind of thought. An older female, the one who lost her son, is the first to act. She picks up a long, fallen branch, stripped of its leaves. She approaches the edge, her movement stiff with a mixture of terror and resolve. She pushes the pole into the green mat. It sinks easily for a few feet, then meets a sludgy resistance. She pulls it out. It is coated in a black, foul-smelling muck. She tries another spot, and this time the pole travels much deeper before finding purchase. She begins to map the unseen world beneath the illusion, her simpleton an extension of her own foresight. It is a slow, painstaking process. Other members of the clan watch, then imitate, their fears slowly being overlaid by a fragile sense of purpose. They are creating a mental map of the Ghost Sea, a chart of its treacherous depths and hidden solidities. Their experiments grow more sophisticated. They discover that by throwing heavy stones, they can gauge the thickness of the fern. A dull thud means a stable patch. A wet, sucking sound means a death trap. They learn to read the subtle colors of the green. The brighter shades indicating new growth and thinner coverage. The darker, almost brown patches suggesting a dense, interwoven foundation. They lash together bundles of dried reeds with vine, creating crude floats. Pushing these ahead of them, they can distribute their weight, inching their way out onto the most stable sections. It is a tense, nerve-wracking form of exploration. They are not walking on water. They are negotiating with a living, breathing mire. During one of these forays, a hunter probing for trapped fish sees a stream of bubbles rise from a spot ahead. The bubbles are large, iridescent, and they carry a strange, sharp smell. He pokes the spot with his pole. A huge bubble erupts with a loud, wet belch, releasing a plume of gas that makes him dizzy. His head swimming in confusion, he stumbles back just as another hunter cries out. The disturbance has attracted attention from beneath the green mat. A sleek, dark head, larger than a man, emerges silently. It is a primitive crocodile, perfectly adapted to this world of ambush and lower oxygen. The hunters scramble back to solid ground, their hearts pounding. They have discovered more of the meadow's secrets. Its breath is poison, a methane seeped from the decaying world below, and its shadows hold teeth. The meadow is not just a trap. It is a hunting ground for creatures that have learned its terrible, alien rules. Their survival skills must evolve faster than the dangers around them. The clan has achieved a fragile truce with the green ocean. They have a system. The bull probars go first, then the float pushes. Their movements are slow, deliberate choreography of survival. They can now hunt the edges, snatching the fat. They are breathing fish and large amphibians that live in this liminal space. They have turned raw intelligence into primitive technology, a set of rules and tools that allow them to skim the surface of a world they will never truly understand. This is a critical step in the long story of human evolution. The transformation of terror into a manageable, calculated risk. They have not conquered the meadow. They have learned to bargain with it for their lives. But the meadow is not a static entity. It is the skin on a vast, dynamic system. A fact of Paleontology they are about to learn in the harshest way possible. One afternoon, a low, deep thrumming sound begins, vibrating up through the soles of their feet. It is a sound felt more than heard. The clan freezes, their eyes scanning the unchanging green horizon. The thrumming intensifies. Out in the center of the watery plain, the mat of fern begins to bulge, rising like a monstrous blister. The pressure is immense. The hunters closest to the shore scramble back, shouting warnings. The blister bursts. An enormous plume of gas and black water erupts into the sky with a deafening roar. It is a catastrophic methane release, a pocket of trapped decay from millennia of accumulated biomass letting go at once. The explosion sends a shockwave across the meadow. The fern mat rips and tears. In that churning, violent chaos of water and shredded green, they see it for the first time. The true master of this domain, not a crocodile, not a shadow, but the immense, serpentine body of the Basilosaurus, dozens of them, thrown to the surface in the eruption. Their long, eel-like forms twisting in the sudden, violent oxygenation of their world. They are titans, bigger than any land creature. Their mouths filled with shearing teeth. The clan stares, their minds unable to process the scale of what they are seeing. They were not living next to a hungry meadow. They were living on the roof of a monster's lair. The revelation is shattering. The mortar, now visible in great, churning patches, is a place of leviathaness. As the chaos subsides and the green blanket begins to slowly stitch itself back together, the clan is changed. They understand their place. That night, the elder female, the one who lost her son, the one who first mapped the depths, takes the finest stone chopper they have, an almost perfect teardrop or sharpened shirt. She walks to the edge of the Shoran, with a low chant that is part prayer, part acknowledgement, places it on a flat stone. It is not at all to be used. It is an offering, a sacrifice, an admission of their own significance in the face of this incomprehensible world. It is an act of pure, primal respect born from absolute terror, an altruism directed not at one another, but at the unknowable power that governs their lives. They will continue to hunt the edges, but they will do so with a new, profound humility. They are small creatures, living on the skin of a breathing, dreaming, monster-filled sea. This clan's story is a chilling footnote in the epic of human ancestors, a testament to a time when the planet itself was an alien frontier. Their struggle on the shore of the Azolla Sea wasn't about mastering nature, but about surviving its most surreal and terrifying experiment. They were cartographers of a world that defied logic, their simple tools extensions of a budding scientific mind, their rituals a nascent form of philosophy in the face of the incomprehensible. They didn't leave behind grand monuments or elaborate art, only, perhaps, a genetic whisper of caution, a deep-seated instinct that some mysteries are not meant to be solved, but endured. Their experience reminds us that our own world, with its solid ground and predictable oceans, is a geological accident, a brief period of stability in the chaotic history of ancient Earth. We stand on a thin crust of certainty, and we have forgotten the armed terror of the time when our ancestors looked out upon a world where the rules had not yet been written, and the ground beneath their feet could swallow them whole. To understand the map, one must first respect the dragon that lies at its edge. What happens when the Earth itself becomes the enemy?